it's 13. How they move the people for someone else's dream. And they use a compass, but they never mind, 'cause the thing don't work under the northern sky. Don't move the plane through the snow and ice. Don't move the plane under the northern sky. Now they start out walking to the mystery place, and they soon got lost, and then they shortened days. No cavalry here, just the white man's guide. They began to perish under the northern sky.
All right, folks, it looks like the game started. We're having a little bit of difficulties with the broadcast today, so I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. I know we've got some internet issues. They do not have very good connections around here. Number 88 for the Lizard Heads from Telluride. Tried to take it in and shoot it. Gibson took it back, and he comes flying up the ice, up to Marvisi, off of Marvisi's skate, back to Gibson. Gibson skating in. Goes in on a little bit of a backhand and underneath the goalie's pad. And that gets us a stoppage of play early on in this first period. I apologize for the broadcast. Again, we're dealing with ridiculous internet issues. They don't have decent Wi-Fi in this particular rink. So we're going to do the best we can here. Lester gets a shot that's blocked. Number 2 carries it up, chips it in. Right on Boston. Boston in net today. Van Opdorp has a puck stolen from him. Number 12 carries it now. Quick spin away. And pockets picked. Schultz there to get it. Gets it over to Truello. He's not able to handle that one. And we get an offsides call here just over the 1 minute mark in the first period. All right, Parker steps up to take the face-off. We're going against number, I can't quite read the number there. One over to McKenzie. McKenzie had it knocked away from him. Number 00 carries it up, whiffs on it as he's trying to clear it up. McKenzie down below the goal line trying to help out. And Parker right there, puck's bouncing around. Parker gets it up to Van Opdorp, who throws it towards the net. Kind of a little bit of a weak shot that fluttered in. Telluride picks it back up and chips it in, and that's going to go off of a Telluride stick. No icing there, as they're saying it was tipped. Van Opdorp gets it away from the Telluride player, chipped up to McKenzie. Centering pass to Parker. Parker did not connect with Noon, but Noon tried to get it back to number 31. 31 chips it in and goes off the backdrop netting off of a redirected shot by number 14. Number 5 ended up losing. Dryman tries to get it to Sullivan. Goes to Spinder. Shot on, save, and covered up. Marvisi right there at the doorstep. Took a little bit of a whack, but managed to get a shot on. But the goalie made a great save in net. So we play on. No goal still. Sullivan with it. Back to Labato. Shot on, saved by the goaltender. Telluride controlling the puck now. Sorry, the feed's going to be several minutes behind right now just because of the lack of an internet connection. But it does look like it's trying to get caught up. Telluride just scored a goal. That was number 14, Blount, with the goal on Boston. That puts Telluride up 1-0 so far. So right now we are at the 10:25 mark of the first period, so we're about 4 minutes behind in the play. Van Opdorp with it. Carries it up and not able to control it. Sullivan trying to get a hold of it. Dryman manages to keep it in, chips it down deep, and shot up the boards back to Gibson. Gibson tried to take a shot at it and whiffed on it. Telluride picks it up, carries it down into the Tigers zone. Dryman chips it up the board, trying to get it up to Marvisi, not able to do so. A couple of Telluride players there putting on some pressure. Van Opdorp with it, throws it up the near side boards. Marvisi, and it's a little bit behind him. No icing there as it goes all the way down. And, well, no, I'm sorry. They did call an icing on that, so it comes all the way back down into the Tiger zone. Tigers go for a line change. Telluride's number 12 steps up to take face off against Seabolt, number 67 for the Tigers. We are at the 9:41 mark of the first period still. Lots of hockey to be played. Lobato chips it off the backboards over to Truello. Truello goes down as he's trying to get it out. Seabolt there kind of lazily trying to get to the puck. And Truello gets it over to Schultz, leaves it for Seabolt. Seabolt carries it up now. Seabolt with quick stop. Shot towards the net that's blocked, and he still controlling it. Couple of Telluride players right there. Truello with it. And that pops out of the zone right back in. Lenhart gets it down low for Schultz. Schultz with it, trying to center that, and goes off of number 14's skate. All the way back out to Lobato. Lobato with it, gets it over to Lenhart. Lenhart chips it up, and Schultz just throws it past Lenhart. Tigers have to go back into their own zone and regroup. Ripped around over to the far side. Telluride controlling it. Not sure what's going on. I wonder if the audio disconnected. And we got an icing call on Telluride. I apologize. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the connection right now. We had to separate the network and the device. So Blake's downstairs running the camera. I'm up top here trying to the network connection. So I'm not sure where we're at with it. Telluride controlling it in the Tigers zone. Chipped down deep by number 88. Picked off by Chamberlain. Chamberlain's there. Backhanded up by Spinder. Spinder picks... Was that Spinder that picked it up? No, that was McKenzie that picked it up. Noon carries it in. Gets around a couple of the Telluride players. Loses it to one. Back over to McKenzie. Shot. And saved by the goaltender. Noon gets it up in the far side corner. Over to Dryman. Dryman tries to get it back to Noon. Ends up losing a handle on it. Dryman putting some effort into getting it back. Around Thien. Cross ice pass. Thien picks it up down below the goal line. Tries to chip it up as he's bumped. Telluride now controlling it. And they end up taking it out to the neutral zone and back in. Thrown up, and Van Opdorp back to pick it up. Van Opdorp gets it, bounces it off the near side boards, but doesn't really go anywhere. Picked up by Thien down low. And Van Opdorp picks it back up, but we have an offsides call on the play right now. It looks like we are sitting... we're at the 6:32 mark right now, but the stream's at the 9:14 mark, but it actually looks pretty good, so we're going to go with it. Hopefully, the audio is actually coming through. Chipped in on a backhand by number 28. Lobato back to pick it up down below the goal line. Number 26 is right there to put some pressure on, and he ends up coming off the wall with it. Takes down below the goal line. He's looking to pass it off. Gibson picked off that pass. Gibson with a quick move. Trello with a big hit on 5. Gibson now with it. Takes it down below the goal line behind the net. Back up to Schultz on the far side. And chipped up. Gibson now with it right at the blue line there. It squirts out. Gibson gets it back to Lobato. Lobato picks it up. And up to Schultz. Schultz with it now. A little move. Gets it up to Seabolt. Seabolt carries it in. And had it knocked away from him. Back. So Lobato picks it up. Chips it up the boards and into the neutral zone. McKenzie carries it in. Hello, hello. All right. All right, chipped out past Spinder. And that's going to be an icing call on Telluride. McKenzie with it over to Parker. Parker flips it up over the net. Noon back to pick it up, and he gets bumped into the boards, pinched off there. Noon still trying to get control of it. Rimmed around over to the near side. And Parker gets it, tries to get it over to Noon, goes past him. He's not able to get control of it. Chipped down. And Telluride's 0-0 controlling it there temporarily. Now 12 with it. Gets around Lenhart. Lenhart with it. Long pass over to McKenzie. McKenzie able to maintain control of it. Gets it up to Noon. Noon able to get into the zone, but not cleanly as Telluride bumps him off the puck. Chip down to number 12. Number 12, Nash coming in. And a little backhander shot wide. Thien picks it up in the far side corner. And Telluride controlling it for a little bit. Now Chamberlain picks it up, carries it into the Telluride zone. Long shot goes up over the net, rims around over to the near side. Marvisi right there, trying to center it. Back to Dryman. Dryman with a shot and a save by the goaltender. Picked up by Sullivan. Back to Thien. Thien with a shot that's blocked up front. Telluride now controlling it in the getting it into the Tiger zone. Bumped off the puck by Thien. Thien picks it up, takes it around behind the goal line. And the net picked up by Sullivan and lost the handle on it. Chipped out on a second attempt by Thien. Marvisi with a good stick, able to get the puck away from the Telluride player. Sullivan now with it. Throws it in, goes for a change. That goes all the way down. No icing there as he had attained the red line. Chipped up. Van Opdorp picks it up, bounces again off the boards. And it goes past Seabolt. Picked up again by Van Opdorp. He gets it up to Truello. Truello carries it in, a little bit of stick handling. And he gets it over to Seabolt. Seabolt with it, a little backhander off the side of the net. 31 rims it around over to the far side, picked up by Truello. He gets down a little deeper and then shot out by Telluride. Gibson with it, trying to get it up to Truello. Truello and Seabolt, neither of them pick it up and Telluride picks it back up. Carried up by 2. Long pass over to the far side to number 12. Number 12 with a shot redirected behind the net. Still controlling it. Lost it. Gibson with it now. Walks out. Long pass picked off by 00 for Telluride. Telluride Nash fires it over to the far side. Schultz with it now. Brings it into the zone. Back to Schultz. Schultz up over the net, and he missed that one. Lots of pucks going up over the net. Nobody actually able to hit the net. 00 Holbrook carries it in. Long pass, and that one ends up behind the net as Telluride not able to bury the second goal of the game. Gibson picks it up down low. Up the far side. Telluride manages to keep it in, but Truello right there gets it out on the, not the second attempt, but the third one. Goes off at number 31. No icing there as McKenzie racing to get it. McKenzie gets it, tries to get it to Parker. Not a clean pass. Number 14 carries it in. That's Blount, a goal scorer early on in the first period. Picked up on the far side by Noon, but he's got one of the players right on him. Lenhart gets it. Shot towards the net, goes off of Parker. And Noon picks it up again on the far side half wall. Backhander, not out of the zone, as that was picked off right at the blue line. Lenhart gets it right below the goal line. Noon with it. Long pass, goes off a driving stick, not out of the zone as Telluride gets another shot on. Telluride putting some pressure on the Tigers here. They're not getting clean exits out of their own zone. Finally, Noon gets it out on, I don't know, the second or third attempt. Shot towards the net. It goes wide. Marvisi to pick it up on the near side half wall. Throws it down low to Dryman. Dryman all the way out to Lenhart. And that horn signaled the end of the first period. We are at a 1-0 game right now. We will be back shortly for the start of the second period. Hopefully the broadcast is coming through just fine. All right, puck drop for the second period. Sullivan picks it up, tries to get it in, and gets pushed out of the way by number 00. I believe that's Holbrook. Back into the Tigers' zone. Chamberlain with it now. He's hounded. Gets bumped off the puck. Chipped up the out. Marvisi not able to get to it. Shot towards the net. Redirected. And Boston having to make a save. Thrown up. And sent up by Dryman. She's not able to handle it clearly. And it's still not out of the zone. Tigers not able to get it out of the zone. down low. Number 2 misses, overskates it. And finally, Dryman redirects it out of the zone. Telluride able to turn it around and bring it right back into the Tiger zone. Nash pick it up on the far side. Finally thrown up and out, and the Tigers, no icing there as that goes off the goaltender. And they called that an icing. It should not have been an icing. Bad. So, but they called it an icing, so puck comes all the way back down to the other side to the Tiger zone. Schultz with it, carries it up, and loses a handle on it and thrown down low, but that is going to be an offsides call on the Tigers as Schultz lost it and then back up. Diebold steps up to take the draw going against number 30. Trillo not able to get to it. Passed over to the far side and around Van Opdorp, and he's not able to handle that. And we actually get another offsides call, this time on Telluride, trying to go into the Tigers zone. Diebold steps up to take the draw for number 38. That was 38 earlier, not 30. Gibson with it now, carries it around, rims it around over to the near side. And again, not out. Tigers really no energy trying to get the puck out of their own zone. Triello with it, gets it past the Telluride defender, skates in, got Schultz with him, shot way up over the net, picked up on the near side by Schultz. Schultz tries to chip it down low, but he's got 2 Telluride players on him. Seabolt comes in finally to help out. And Seabolt centering one goes off of the skate of number 7. Behind the net to 14. 14 up to 26. That grenade's off of his stick. And Gibson gets it up to Seabolt. Seabolt throws it in. Number 5 back to pick it up. Chipped up off the board. Seabolt would have been the first there if he hadn't been going for a line change. Parker with it now. And chipped up off the boards as she lost it. Spinder with it. Long shot and picked up by the goaltender. Mark of the second period. Still looks like our broadcast is several minutes behind. So it might take a little bit to catch up. But we're going to keep going. That's an icing call there on Telluride as they throw it off the near side boards, and it goes all the way down to the Tiger zone. We are currently at the 10:59 mark of the second period. Parker with the win there. Noon having to pick it up in the corner, though. Chips up. Thien with it. Shot up over the net. Thien stepped in and got a good shot off. Thrown towards the net. Picked off by Noon. Noon throws it again towards the net. Chipped up the board. Not out, sorry. Thien with it right there, and then he gets bumped off the puck. And no call as Labato with it now. And pops up to zone 31 with a shot. Noon, it's redirected over to Noon. Noon gloves it down. Long pass over to McKenzie. They did not connect there. And Parker not able to keep it in as it pops out of the zone, and we get another stoppage of play at the 10:08 mark of the second period. Shots on goal are 10-7 right now, with Telluride Telluride behind in that tally, but winning in the game. Chipped up. Van Opdorp picks it up in the neutral zone, bounces it off the boards over to Dryman. Dryman gets it over to Marvisi, but she's not able to handle that as it was in the air. And Telluride gets it, throws it in right off of Dryman. Picked up down low by Chamberlain. Chamberlain bounces it off the near side boards, and Sullivan right there. And Dryman not able to get to it first. Van Opdorp gets it back up to and over to Sullivan. He's not able to handle that. That was a little too close to his feet. Picked up by 7 and rimmed around over to the far side. Van Opdorp manages to keep it in, but only temporarily as Telluride comes out with it. Dryman gets it, chips it ahead, picked off by 7. 7 over to 28. He goes off of his stick. 98 with it. Not able to get a shot off. Back up to the point. Schultz with a good interception there. Throws it over to the far side. Nobody there to pick it up, but Truello was still in the zone. And we have an offsides call. I'm pretty sure on that. Again, sorry for the issues with the broadcast. There's no clean way of getting a good signal out here, and I know it's frustrating to watch the play continually stop like that. Down in the Colorado Springs zone, Telluride controlled it. Up to Schultz now. Schultz with a quick stop and gives it off to Truello, and he tries to carry it in, not able to do much with it. Schultz able to keep it in, shot towards the net. Siebold tried to whack that one down and not able to do so. Truello tries to come off the wall with it and bat it out. Spinder not able to keep it in. Lenhart with it, tries to get it back over to, I believe that was Siebold, and then a shot on Boston, and he gloves that one down handily enough. So we get a stoppage of play and a face-off just to Boston's right. Siebold steps up to take the draw against number 14. Gorilla with it now. Bangs it hard off the boards and out of the zone, picked off by 00, and he gets taken down. Batted at, and Siebold gets it up to Schultz. Schultz carries it, loses a handle on it, but back to Truello. A little toe drag there by Truello, and he gets around 31, but ends up losing it. Back around behind the goal line, long pass over to the far side. Lobato chasing it down now as it grenades off a number 2 stick. Batted over to Gibson. Gibson with it. Tries to chip it up to Parker. They do not connect there. Gibson has to go back and retrieve it again. Parker picks it up. Bounced off the near side boards. Truello not able to get it out and batted back down deep by Nash. Clearing pass over to McKenzie. McKenzie chips it up, goes off of a stick. Parker having to regroup and pick it up. She does. And had it knocked off her stick. Finally squirts back out of the Telluride zone. Gibson chips it up. Gibson picks it back up. Gets around Nash, number 12, carries it in. A little bit of stick handling. Gibson gets bumped down. Looking to get it out of their own zone. Backhanded up. Gibson manages to keep it in. Chipped down deep, but goes off of one of the Telluride players. Number 38 picks it up. 2-on-1 odd man rush. Not a good pass. It was right behind him. Back to 7 at the point. Shot on and a save by Boston as he covers that one up. 6:31 left in the second period. Looks like Kimball takes the net from off doing a split goalie for the last, presumably the last game for this team. Dean carries it up and gets rubbed out right along the boards. Still a 1-0 game with nobody able to get any additional traction. Not a lot of solid shots on net by either team. Battle right on the far side half wall, picked up by Van Opdorp, skates around 31, down. Van Opdorp gets bumped off the puck, goes behind for Sullivan. Sullivan right there, had it knocked away from him. Telluride picks it up and chipped up all the way down into the Tiger zone. Marvisi with it, bounces it off the near side boards, brought in by number 38. And Marvisi's bumped hard. Picked up by Van Opdorp. Van Opdorp loses a handle on it. Thien now with it, tries to backhand it out, not able to do so. Shot towards the net, redirected up front, and ends up going behind the net. Sullivan throws it up and right to number 31. Thien backhands it up and out of the zone as Sullivan picks it up. Holbrook carries it up, gives it off to number 88. Chamberlain chips it off the boards and out. Number 31 back to pick it up in the Telluride zone. 88 gets it, takes it behind the net. Schultz right there to pick it up. And he gets bumped out right in the corner. It looks like we got a penalty. I believe that's going to be on Telluride. Schultz was not happy about that one. Cross-check called on Telluride as that puts the Tigers on a power play. Now the shots on goal are stuck at 11 each, but Telluride still up 1-0. This is a chance for the Tigers to get something going here. Chipped up the near side boards. Chamberlain able to keep that in. Seabolt tried to get to it and was not able to do so. Holbrook gets it, carries it up, long pass, tries to hit number 2, does not. They waved off the icing there. Trillo now with it, picks it up, gets it up to Schultz. Schultz carries it into the zone, takes it to the far side half wall, loses a skate, and ends up turning it right back over to number 14. And number 7 gets it down deep. Seabolt having to go back and pick it back up. Like we're about 7 minutes behind on our broadcast. I apologize again for the internet connections. It's one of the most difficult things to deal with. Shot towards the net, and that goes over Kimball. Seabolt there to pick it up on the near side half wall. And we got a whistle. I believe somebody fell on the net, or sorry, the puck. And so we get a stoppage of play and a face-off just to Kimball's left. 3:21 left in the second period right now. 22 seconds left on the Telluride penalty. Noon with it now, picks it up down below the goal line. Centering pass goes right up in front. Nobody able to do anything with that. And then fired all for an icing call on Telluride. 2:57 left in the second period. Going against Telluride. Can't read his number right now. That was number 14, the only goal scorer of the game so far. Telluride picks it up, fired up to the point, not able to get it out. Goes off at noon and finally pops out of the zone. Lenhart picks it up, bounces it off the near side board. 7 gets it in the Telluride zone. Long pass. Noon picks off that pass, chipped up a second time. McKenzie with it. And Parker now with it. She had it taken from her. Taken in by Nash, number 12. Shot towards, blocked by Lenhart. Pops out of the zone. And Tigers not able to do much with it through the neutral zone. Lenhart loses the handle on it and gets it back, but loses it a second time. Nash with it, centering pass. And number 28 from Nash, as that puts Telluride up 2-0 on a quick goal that pops over Kimball's shoulders and goes into the back of the net. So we are over right at 7 minutes behind now in our broadcast. Gibson with it, carries it up through the neutral zone, gets around and gets hauled down. That's going to put Tigers back on a power play for almost the remainder of this second period. Dryman steps up to take the face-off. And Telluride wins that one too. Van Opdorp just throws it towards the net. Lobs it actually, and number 2 actually gloves that down really handily. Van Opdorp picks it up right at the Tigers' blue line. Over to Gibson. Gibson walks around number 2, carries it in, goes wide. Quick stop, back up to the point to Van Opdorp. Van Opdorp with it, gets it over to Dryman. Dryman throws it towards the net. That's redirected up front. Sullivan picks it up. Back up to Dryman. Dryman shoots it wide of the net. RVC planted right. Pops out of the Telluride zone. Gibson with it. Back to Dryman. Dryman just throws it in. 31 picks that off and just turns around and throws it all the way down. That's going to be an icing call on Telluride at the 9.7 mark of the second period. Dean now with it, picks it off. Over to Schultz. Schultz isn't able to handle that one. Back up to the point. And Spender right there. Gets it over to Truello. Truello with it. Shot. Saved by the goaltender. Goes off his shoulder and drops to the ice. He covers that one up. 15 seconds left on the Telluride penalty. Siebold taking the draw. And Trillo trying to get to it. 15 seconds left in the period. Schultz had it taken away from him by number 14. Number 14 gets it up to one of his teammates, but not cleanly. And just as the horn sounds, Telluride took it back into the Tigers' zone, but that horn signals the end of the period. We will be back shortly with the third and final period of the game. Stick with us. All right, start of the third period. Lenhart picks it up in his own zone. Telluride right there and shot on and saved by Kimball. Again, I apologize for the broadcast issues. Sometimes these internet issues are not resolvable. Um, there is one thing that I can do to make it easier, but it costs a nice chunk of money. So hopefully for next year I'll be able to get some sponsors and be able to get some people to help out, and I'll be able to get the piece I need, which is going to be a it's called, but it allows you to take multiple cellular signals and combine them. Anyway, we are going. Chamberlain with it behind the net. Quick reversal as he was pinched up against the boards. Parker battling hard down low. We have, I'm not sure where the other winger is, but Parker gets it, carries it up ice, gets it over to Noon. Noon's not able to handle that one. Noon again with it, not able to control it. Rimmed around over to the near side, chipped off the backboards. And just so everybody knows, the broadcast, when it's DVR'd, it's not going to show all the network issues. It should be DVR'd without any of the issues. Pass to Dryman. She's not able to handle that. Gets back, throws it towards the net. Noon right there, but he's not able to bury that as the goalie covers it up at the 12:37 mark of the third period. Dryman steps up to take the draw, and that's knocked past her. Labato not able to get a handle on it. He chases it down though, picks it up in the Tiger zone. Over to Chamberlain, up to Dryman. Dryman takes a hit, gets it up to Marvisi. Marvisi to Sullivan. Sullivan chips it in and goes to get it back. And 0-0 there, battling Sullivan. Marvisi steps in to help out, and she gets bumped off the puck. Gibson now with it, chips it over to Sullivan. Sullivan backhands it in, but it goes wide of the net, picked up by number 14 for Telluride. Carried up and passed off to 0-0. Holbrook tried to get it past Gibson, not able to do so. And a shot by one of the Telluride standing right in the slot. And Dryman going at it with one of the players. I think both of them are going to the box. A little bit of pushing and shoving there with number 14, Blount of Telluride. Offsetting penalties there by both players, so there's no man advantage held by either team right now. Ash, number 12, steps up against Siebel. Up there, but there shouldn't have been. Triello with it. And Triello chips it in and just bowls over the Telluride defender. Tries to get it towards the net and not able to bury that. And we got an offsides call on Telluride going into the Tigers zone. Siebold taking the draw, and that bounces around. Picked off by Telluride, brought into the Tiger zone. Siebold picks it off, gets it up to Triello. Triello passes over to the far side to Schultz. Schultz not able to do much with it. Lenhart with it. He tries to skate it up and gets pinched off two different places by the Telluride players. Siebold gets it back, gets it up to Triello. Trillo with it. Up to Schultz. Schultz loses it as he exits the zone. Picks it back up. Trillo gives it over to Trillo. Trillo with it. Carries it down low. And centering pass over to the far side, or near side. Schultz with it now. Tries to get it to Trillo for a one-timer. Trillo whiffs on that one. Chamberlain now with it. Quick change of direction. But Telluride gets it back, carries it out of their own zone. Gets around Parker. And goes off of Kimball. Not for a clean exit for the Tigers either. Chip down low, rims around all the way over to the far side. Trillo there to pick it up. And he gets it up to Parker. Parker steps to the center through the neutral zone. Decides she's going to carry it in. Quick stop. And ends up losing a handle on it, trying to get it over to Noon. And chipped up to Noon. Kenzie carrying it now. Kenzie going hard to the net. Shot saved by the goaltender as it ekes behind the net. Over to the far side. Noon right there. And he chips it down deep. Rolls over to the near side of the net. Backhanded up to Marvisi. Back to Schultz. McKenzie. And squirts out. Gibson race into. And Kimball comes out of the net. Plays the puck all the way down. Number 2 with it. And McKenzie carries it now. Gets it to Noon, who just gets a deep 0-0, goes down for it. Comes out the far side of the net and chipped up. Ends up getting it out of the zone. Noon chips it off the boards. Kenzie picks it up, loses a handle on it, and Telluride comes back down into the Tigers zone with it. Shot way wide of the net and redirected by 0-0. Holbrook into the far side of the net. Kimball thought that was coming into the near side and had moved over, leaving that far side open, and was redirected right into the far side of the net. Tigers, no luck in this tournament. 8:16 in the third period. Dryman steps up to take the face-off. Marvisi got it for a second. Marvisi carries it in. Gets it over to Sullivan. Knocked away from him. Number 14 with it now. Lobbed in right on net. Kimball just covers it up. And we get a stoppage of play and a face-off just to the right of Kimball. So we're still on the broadcast. We're still at the 2:40 mark of the second period. But we are currently at the 7:51 mark of the third period, so it's even getting way farther behind. Lenhart carries it up a little 2-on-1. Lenhart and Marvisi. Shot towards the net. Marvisi picks it up. Centering pass. And picked off by Sullivan. Sullivan throws it down low, and that one's picked off. Dean with it. Loses a handle out of it and has it knocked past him. Face off at center ice. 7:09. Schultz with it, tried to chip it up. 12 for Telluride gets it. Backhand pass doesn't connect, but Trillo picks it off and gets bumped off the puck. Number 14 gets it and just blasts it in, goes all the way around over to the near side. Squirts out of the Tigers zone. Telluride has to pick it back up over to the far side. Schultz trying to get it over to Seabolt. They do not connect there as goes down into the Telluride zone. Number 7 gets it, rims it back over to the far side, and then chipped back down deep. Number 7 back to pick it up yet again. Chipped up the near side boards. 12 Nash backhands it out, and 14 now with it. Is it in? Shot rims around over to the near side. Grello manages to get it out. Telluride has to pick it back up, but they do not before it crosses over the blue line, and we end up with an offsides call. Back down into the Telluride zone, 0-0, backhands it up the boards, and not sure where it went. Lobato there gets it over to Chamberlain. Chamberlain over to McKenzie. McKenzie carries it in. Quick change of direction. Trying to get it to Noon. Noon to Parker. Parker with a shot and a goal. Finally, Tigers on the board. Midway, a little over midway through the third period. Noon with it and tries to get that towards the net. Picked off by Telluride, takes it around behind the net, rims it around over to the near side. Brought up by 14. 14 throws that all the way. No icing there. Chamberlain gets hauled down. And Telluride touches it, and that's going to put the Tigers on a power play. Current score is 3-1. Let's see if the Tigers can get back into this game. Telluride takes it into the Tigers' zone. That's been the Tigers' issue. They cannot get control of the puck during these power plays, and they end up just passing it away. Up to Sullivan. Sullivan carries it in, throws it towards the net, tries to pick up his rebound. Dryman right there. Marvisi with it. It goes just to the side of the net. Marvisi with a good attempt there. Dryman now with it. Tries to get it over to Marvisi. Loses a handle on it. Double zero putting some pressure on. Centering pass right there. Dryman not able to get a solid shot off. Back over to Sullivan. Back up to Gibson. Gibson with it. Over to Lenhart. Lenhart shot towards the net. Goes wide. Chip down deep. Sullivan tries to get it over to Marvisi. Back up to Dryman. Marvisi gets it back over to Sullivan. Sullivan shot. And Dryman had it knocked away from her. Tigers with a little bit of sustained pressure there, able to do something with it that time. Chip down deep. And Gibson gets it, comes flying up the ice. up to Schultz. Schultz throws it towards the net. And Telluride now gets control of it. They're back at full strength now. Siebold putting pressure on over to Schultz, and Schultz buries that one on the wide open net. Goaltender did not have a chance to get back over and pick that puck up. So we are at the 3:03 mark of the third period, whereas our broadcast is just ending the second period. Siebold steps up to take the draw. Tigers down 3-2, closing in now. Telluride picks it up in the neutral zone, comes flying back down. Number 38 gets bumped off by Thien. Picked up by Siebold, rimmed around over to the far side. Not able to pick it up as Schultz. Spender with it, chips it up to Schultz. Schultz tries to get it over to Truello. Truello's not able to handle that. That grenades off his stick. Bounced off the boards and into the Telluride zone. Bounced off the boards and out into the neutral zone by Telluride. Spender picks it up in the neutral zone, looking to hand it off. And he tries to get it up to McKenzie. McKenzie's not able to handle that one. And Spender throws it back up to McKenzie. McKenzie was in at the opposite direction. And puck is right on the near side half wall. Brought off the wall by Noon. Noon with a shot blocked up front by 7. Parker now with it. Back to the point to Spender. Spender just backhands it in towards the net. McKenzie back to pick it up, and he gets bumped off the puck. Less than 2 minutes left in this game. Chipped up and chipped in, but chipped in offsides by Spender. And we are at the 1:45 minute left in the third period. Current score 3-2. Shots on goal 18-17 with the Tigers having a slight advantage.